Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching us live or if you're watching us on the replay, we appreciate it. Thank you for joining us today. Today we are live at Hope International Church in Groveland, Florida, and we're talking all about Bible studies. And I am here with Sochi, one of our wonderful contributors at Mommy of Multiples. She is our mood setter mommy and our faithfully living contributor. Welcome, Sochi. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
Absolutely. Please come on and tell the audience a little bit about yourself, your family, and what your contributions are.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank Jocelyn for giving me this opportunity. I know a lot of people, but you know a lot of people. And so for you even to come up with this idea of asking me to do top Bible studies, it just kind of, I went back and I was like, because I've done over 20 Bible studies. Yes. And so I'm like, okay, narrow down to 5 or 10. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's hard.
Yeah.
But from doing those, I narrowed down to about 5, but then I added a couple, but you'll see that on the vlog. Mm-hmm. But one thing that I saw that you just created a stir in me that I'm like, I gotta go back and do these Bible studies. So I thank you for this opportunity, and hopefully I'll get the opportunity to lead these Bible studies. Some of these Bible studies I led, and some of them I just personally did myself. So
awesome. We're both really excited about that. And today we are actually, as we said, in Hope International Church, which is in Groveland, Florida. The lead pastors here are Pastor Tony and Jody McCoy. They lead a very dynamic, multicultural, spirit-filled church. And I love their mission statement. Mm-hmm. It is just pure and simple. Right. It's about, saving souls, encouraging hearts, and changing our surrounding communities. So when you think about that, it is saving and encouraging and changing. So that is an awesome thing to be. And, one of the things that we like about Hope here is that there's a place for everybody.
That's right.
There are so many opportunities to get involved, whether in groups or ministries or activities. So no matter where you are in your walk of life or where you are, where you find yourself spiritually, all are welcome here. That's and definitely free from judgment, which is so important. And I know, you have been coming to Hope for a long time. Yes. And there's something the pastor loves to say. Yes. It's on the website.
Yes. We're not a black church. We're not a white church. We're a Jesus church.
Amen.
And also, when you're coming into Groveland, you'll see that billboard on the left. Mm-hmm. It's just a perfect depiction of our church. We have such a diversity, like Jocelyn said, of African American, white people, Hispanic, just Guyanese, everybody. And there's we're all family. It's such a when you feel when you come through those doors, you feel love. You will get hugged, even though it's your first time and you don't know anybody, but you definitely feel the presence of the Lord. And I've been here 6 years. I always think, okay, how old is Jude? Because we joined about when he was 2 years old. Mm-hmm. But we've been here for about 6 years, and under Pastor Tony's leadership and Pastor Jody, Stephen and I have grown so much. And he's here, that's where my mood setter came from. Mm-hmm. Here at Hope International, the women are called mood setters because we set the atmosphere in our home, wherever we go. And isn't that the truth? Mm-hmm. If we're in a good mood, then everybody's in a good mood. Yeah. And but that can also be taken to negative. But also our men are called shakers, and that's what my husband is. He has grown so much. We grew up in the church, and both of us. I'm a daughter of a pastor. Mm-hmm. I love my dad. He's wonderful. He's been preaching the gospel for over 40 years. And I'm so blessed to have him and my mom as just people that have been in my life that have instilled values in me. So shout out to my dad and my mom. But with Hope International, through the preaching, through the worship, through the people, we have grown so much. And I always say there's no place like Hope. Yeah. You can visit so many other churches, and you got to find your spot, whether it be a mega church or a big church. But Hope, there's always something for everybody. Yeah. So we invite you to come on Sunday. We have 2 services, one at 9 and one at 11. Mm-hmm. So
absolutely. And there is no better way to experience Hope than just coming and checking it out for yourself. It's more than a regular church. It's really an experience.
That's exactly
how I say it.
Yes.
So if you are in the area, please come by. Like Sochi mentioned, on Sundays, 9 at 11. Then they have the midweek service on Wednesdays at 7. If you don't live in the area, you can go to gohopechurch.com, which is their website, or you can find them on Facebook, Hope International Church. And there you will see the live streaming of the Sunday services and the Wednesday services. So definitely come and check them out. And just as a little fun fact for everyone, Pastor Tony McCoy is also, he's a very versatile man.
That's right, yes.
He is also a retired NFL football player.
Right, yes.
So he played 8 years for the Indianapolis Colts, 2 years for the Arizona Cardinals. And, you know, it's funny because, you know, in my heart, I'm from New York, and in my heart, I am a Giants fan, but Pastor Tony got me feeling a certain way about the Indianapolis Colts.
Yes,
So,
and the Gators.
and the Gators,
Yeah.
big time here.
Yes.
So if you are a football fan, you might want to come check this out as well, this church. Football's big here, so that's a good thing.
Absolutely. And just when he speaks, like, when you just passing Pastor Tony, he might be like quiet, but when he gets behind the pulpit, the Spirit of God comes on him, and it's just stirring in him, and he's sweating, and he's giving it all he has. So if you've never tried it, try it, please. And I just want to shout out to Lily. Hi, Lily.
And
Hi, Evelyn. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much. And as we're talking, please feel free to comment below. We would love to connect with you. If you have any questions as we're talking, please feel free to share that. And, you know, Hope is a great setting about what we're talking about today, which is Bible studies. You know, in the fall season, everything starts to change again. The kids go back to school, the weather changes, and it is the start of many new Bible studies for the fall. Whether it's a personal Bible study or a group Bible study, a lot of them occur now in the fall season. And I think they all begin at the first place. Which Bible study am I doing? Like, what am I choosing? Which one do I go? There are so many life-affirming, life-changing studies. So that's why we wanted to ask Sochi to come on to kind of help narrow the field of that. And Sochi has a lot of experience, and if you want to talk a little bit more about that, because that would be great for our readers to understand that, just kind of understand what it is about Bible studies and what kind of your tips are.
That's so awesome. One of my favorite things to do is lead Bible studies. That's something that God has gifted me in that area. I love it. That's my favorite thing. And you've done 2 Bible studies with me. I've done, like I said, I've done about 20 myself, and I've led about 8 in the last 2 years. So I've been really like just pushing, and really it's the Holy Spirit just allowing me to have venues to be able to do that. But so many people ask me, well, what Bible study should I do? What, you know, I want this in my life, or I want this, or I'm a new Christian, or I want something geared to women, or I want something geared to finances. And I've been able to do that. So I'm so excited to share what I've done, and thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is Sochi's recommendations for the top 5, her top 5 recommendations for Bible studies. And they're a mixture of different things. So we're going to briefly go over them. And as while we're talking, like we said, join us on Facebook. If you are online, we're also on Twitter as well. So if you want to use the hashtag Mom Bible Studies, which stands for Mommy of Multiples. So if you use Mom Bible Studies, we will also see your questions. And in the replay afterwards, if you leave your comments on below, we will make sure that Sochi or I will answer those for you. So what is the first recommendation that you have?
All right. Well, before I go any further, my handsome husband has joined. So I'm just going to say, hi, Stephen. And he's doing hearts. And I love the hearts. Thank you so much for everybody that's liking. We can't see who's all liking, but again, thank you for whoever's joining us. The first one I want to talk about is experiencing God. And while we're doing that, it's so funny, the hearts.
I know.
Not distracted.
We're like, we love you.
Yes. Most of these Bible studies are DVD plus studies. So that's something that if your church, there's so many churches that have a library just for Bible studies. So if you don't have this at your church, ask another church. I'm sure they're not going to say, oh, well, you can't do it. You know, ask the Baptist church in town, ask the Methodist church in town, because I'm sure they have, these are pretty popular studies. But this one is pretty well known. It's been around for many years. Experiencing God, my top favorite, because it's not just men or women, it's for everybody. And it's also not just for the new Christian or the seasoned Christian. It's for, like, I did this about 5 years ago and I learned so much. But it's also like a great background of what our faith, Christianity, is, because so many people, like, we go through the motions and traditions and what we should do. This is not what this is. And it's 13 weeks, so it's about how committed are you? You know, because sometimes the most are 6 to 7 weeks, but this is 13 weeks. So it's a little bit, you know, you have to, and it's not easy. The reason why I like this is not because it's easy or enjoyable. This one pricked my heart, and it convicted me of many areas I need to change. One thing that I like about this is he says over and over, Don't ask what God's will is for my life. Ask what God's will is.
Amen.
And wherever God's will is, that's where you go.
That's where you gotta be. Yeah.
And it's so like sometimes we get stuck in the rut of, well, where's my family at, or where's my tradition at, and we need to do where God is at, because that's where we're going to be in His will, not just what's for me or what's for Jocelyn. Where's God moving?
Where's God? Yeah.
Very, very good book. You can find, we put links on all of our Bible studies. But this is, like I said, it's not going to be a happy, fun one, but it's definitely one that you will learn, and your relationship with the Lord will just grow and grow and grow. And I can't wait to do this one again.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, it's so good. So I've got notes all over.
She's got notes. She's really done this one before.
And it's so funny because I try to write my dates of when I do certain Bible studies. And I did this one. Where did I put it? I want to say October of 2008. So that was really cool that I could see, okay, what was I going through in 2008?
That's so great that you put dates by that. And it kind of shows you how far you've come, where the Lord has brought you to. You know, and when you're doing Bible studies, I always recommend take a little time to do this, take time for yourself. Don't try to, it's so easy to be like, oh, I'll do it like 5 minutes before you bed when you're already exhausted,
that is so key.
Or when just like when you're trying to cook or something, when it's busy, take a little time to just invest and spend that time with God and learning, because these books, all of these Bible studies are just life-changing for you, and I think Sochi would agree with that. Yeah.
Especially with this one, and I'll talk more about the other ones, but this one, you can't do this one like, oh, I didn't do my homework, I've got to do 3 days in one night. You can't do that with this one. So this one is definitely a committed one that you have to take the time. It's about 45 minutes a night. It's 5 days of every week, but about at least 45 minutes. So commitment for this one. But Experiencing God by Henry Blackaby.
Awesome.
So
that is the first recommendation, and all of these are already live on Mommy of Multiples, and it's MAMI of multiples.com. And if you look on the homepage, there's a Facebook Live button right underneath this header, and it's right there in the center. If you click on that, you will see the post that Sochi made that has all of the Bible studies that we're talking about with the links and where you can buy them, which are available basically everywhere right now.
Exactly.
They're very Amazon, Christian distributor, in retail stores. So we're going to move on to the next, number 2, the recommendation.
And I want to say hi to my sister-in-law, my beautiful, loving sister-in-law, Maria. Hi, Maria. And also Lily. Sometimes we think about dates and we're like, okay, what happened? What was major milestones? And she said that her dad passed away in 2008. And, sometimes we just need to reflect and remember, okay, what was so great about that year? And so, Lily, thank you for sharing that. And hopefully you'll take some time just to remember some great times that you had with your dad. So the next one is Armour of God by Priscilla Shirer. I actually got the privilege of leading this 2 times last year. One for mops and one for a more seasoned group of ladies that were not actually mops, which mops is moms of preschoolers, which is any child that's 4 and under, 5 and under. And so if they didn't, we actually had an opportunity for them to do this class separately. But and hopefully we will do this very soon at Hope International, because this is a really, really good one. This one, as we know, it focuses on the armor of God. But I'm going to take a couple minutes to read, because she focuses on this passage of Ephesians 6:10 through 19. So if you have a Bible, you can get it, read it with me. But I'm going to focus on the one that she really focused throughout the whole Bible study. And it's verse 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. And one thing throughout the whole thing, I don't know if you remember this, she said, the enemy is not your husband. The enemy is not your family. The enemy is not your coworker. The enemy is not that person that cut you off in that line. The enemy is Satan. And he is real. He is more real than me and you sit here. And she, like, when I start thinking about that, I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. But we have to know, as a body of Christ, we have to know what we're fighting against. And so she talks about the whole armor of God.
The spiritual battles that you're going through. And it's so easy to associate a tough situation, a difficult situation with that's Satan right there.
That's so true.
That's what happens. That's what we do in our flesh.
We blame it on him.
Yes. But that's not really what it's about.
Yes. And so she goes through the 6 armors I guess weapons, which is the sword of the spirit and the shoes of peace. But she adds one more, because there's typically 6 that we, get out of those verses. But she adds one more, and that's the most powerful one that we don't really think of a weapon, but we need to. We need to change our mind, renew our mind, and that's prayer. Because without prayer, you can't fight these battles. So she really focuses on that. Very real and intense, and Priscilla Shirer is joy to watch.
Yes,
she is beautiful. So just if you haven't done this one and you want to do, if you don't live in the Claremont area where I'll be teaching it, because I'm already speaking in existence, find it and ask the Bible study leader at your church to do this one, because this one will change your life. It will definitely change your thinking. So what did you like about the Armour of God?
I love the Armour of God because it really broke down each armor
Right,
piece
that's exactly
for me,
right. Yes,
and you know the Bible verse, and you learn it as a kid and all of that. Yes. But when it's broken down to something that applies to your life now, is what I really liked. And Priscilla Shirer is a phenomenal Bible teacher. For some of you who might recognize the name in the War Room, the movie The War Room that was nationwide, was a great movie. She is the lead in that, and I don't even like to call her actress, because she just kind of says that she kind of was doing this and fell into this to the part. So she's not really an actress, but she played it wonderfully, and it was a really wonderful movie. And that's part of what you are talking about right now. The next one, which is accompaniment actually to the Armour of God.
Absolutely. Priscilla Shirer is one of my favorites, and her and Beth Moore are really up there for me. I really follow them, and of course under the Lord's teaching. But the next one is fervent. Jocelyn and I actually had the opportunity to see the simulcast from Priscilla Shirer, and that was, I don't even remember when that was, April or May of last year. And it was really good. We had a group of ladies from Hope go to actually First Baptist Church of Mount Verd, right? And they were very hospitable. So if anybody from that church, thank you for being so hospitable to us, to everybody that came. But a dear friend actually bought this book for me. I wasn't going to buy anything. I tend to just try to get discounts.
Right.
I'll go to Christianbook.com but I just didn't get it. And so a precious friend bought this for me, and it was so sweet, and I put it on the shelf, and I was like, I'll read it later, like that song tomorrow. But so I did read it, and the Lord just kept on saying, pick that book up. And I was really debating on what summer Bible study to lead here at Hope. And I was like, I know that people are out of town, and I need something a little bit more flexible. So I started reading this book, and the Holy Spirit was like, this is a book that you're going to read, that you're going to do for summer Bible study. And it was week 2, and I was like, I can't put this down, but I need to put it down because I want to do it with the group, know? And so this one, like you said, it goes with, it's a very good companion with Armour of God, but this one is, every woman should have this book. If you don't have this book, Fervent by Priscilla Shirer, this one really just taught me another level of prayer life. Because again, you have an enemy. Like she's calling him out, and she says in the book how she got the part, and also in Armour of God, how she got the part of in the war room, and that the directors of the war room said, be prepared. Be prepared, because the enemy's going to start hitting you harder because he doesn't want you to be successful. And she knew that she was up against about, and several things happened during the writing of the book and during the filming of the movie. But I love this book because it's not a typical DVD book. It's what we did was, if you want to do this, you want to do maybe 2 or 3 chapters a week and discuss that. So she tackles different things of what he attacks. He attacks your passion. Isn't that true? He attacks your identity. He attacks your family. And at the end of each chapter, she has a call to prayer. And she lists several verses that you can pray. There's nothing like praying scripture, because it's God's word that you're praying back to Him. They are powerful prayers. But at the end of each book, and you can see mine, she's got cards that you cut out, and you pray for each of that area. A prayer for hurts. And I have it all. Jocelyn can say that it's just like she's got a full. And I always really try to put, my dad taught me that, put dates on everything, because like even on report cards and stuff like that, because that way you can see where you're at. But I love that part, and I have these also in Armour of God. She's got the same thing, but hang them up. This is where the War Room comes in.
Yes.
You know, in that movie, if you haven't seen the War Room, please go see it.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Oh wow, that's good. Mm-hmm. So go see that movie. But there's a part in the movie that's the whole movie. The premise of that this lady, she goes into a private room, a closet, and she's got so many different scriptures, and she goes in there to pray, and it's a powerful place. Prayer is powerful. That changes things. And just think, we were talking about the election, you know, and talking about politics, the two that we come up with. God can change the hearts of Hillary, and he can change the heart of Donald Trump. There is no doubt. And so we have to be fervent about praying. We have to be the men and women that God has called us to be fervent. And like the title says, a battle plan for serious, specific, and strategic prayer. So this is a book. And one thing I wanted to add, that after doing this Bible study, several women said that they got copies of this and just gave it away.
Wow!
Because they're like, my friends have to read this. And like it is like you'll sit down and it's a page turner. It's convicting. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely something that every library should have.
And when you think about it, in your everyday life, you go through. You have plans. You set plans. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, and then they don't happen.
Yes.
You know. And when you think about fervent, you got to think about everything you're doing in life has to have a strategy. Whether it's business, whether it's personal, you have a plan laid out. Yeah. And why do those things without specific prayers for them? So right. You know, you need to speak those things into existence. You know, and whatever your plans are, you put it before the Lord. And if there's areas in your life where you're struggling, you put it on that prayer card. You put it in your closet, on your wall every day, and look at it and meditate on it and pray to the Lord about it, because these are the things that will help you to accomplish what your goals are trying to be.
That is
so I mean, I really like this book because I think it kind of gives you a breakdown of how to do that. You know, a lot of times people say, I don't know how to pray.
I don't know how to pray. That's so true.
I don't know, you know, I don't know how to do this or that.
Right.
You know, I don't know what to say to God. But this will kind of help you when you want to just. Sometimes you just unburden yourself before the Lord, and sometimes the words don't come out, but the Lord knows.
Absolutely,
you know? Yes. So that this is a great book.
And I love that too. Like when He answers prayer, like put that, because sometimes we ask God for things and then we forget to thank Him.
Thank Him, yes.
You know, so when we write them down, we're like, oh man, thank you, Lord, for answering that. You know,
and that's a great tip to put the dates on there, because it really shows you. Like how far you have come, how far the Lord has brought you. And sometimes in the midst of everything, when you're going, you forget. Like, I won that battle back there. You know, the Lord has helped me to overcome that. You know, so it's great to have that, you know, as a reminder.
That is so good. Yes. So fervent.
That's that one. And then our next one is by many of you might even know. She is a world-renowned Bible teacher and Bible study leader, and that is Beth Moore.
Right. Beth Moore, I've done several of her Bible studies. From the fruits of the Spirit to Revelation to Esther. I've done Daniel, and they're all really good. But I just wanted to pick one because I didn't want to do five Bible studies.
Which we could.
Yeah, we could, yes. They're all so good.
Yeah.
But with Beth Moore, I love the way that she writes.
Yeah.
She writes like you're her friend.
Yeah, you're relatable.
Yeah. Your darling, your friend, your sister. And she's acting like she's having a cup of coffee with you when she's writing this book. But she's such a great teacher. She's understandable. She makes it where you can be like, okay, I get it. You know, like I can relate this to my life. James, I love the book of James. James is so good. Lily was in that Bible study. So if you were in the Bible study and you're not here on live, if you'll just say, hey, I was in that Bible study with you, and tell me what you liked about that. Tell us what you liked, so you can recommend to others that are like, well, which Beth Moore should I start? But James, the book of James is, I want to say it's like five chapters. Yes. It's short. Book in the Bible, but it's got so much meat in it. It's got so much. And what attracted me to this one is James was a brother of Jesus. And when I think of our family relationship. You know, the family can bring out the best in you, or it can bring out the worst in you. And James was not one of Jesus's first disciples. He actually didn't come to salvation until after Jesus was in heaven. And I was like, wow. So even like Jesus, his own brother, didn't even believe in him. But after he ascended, James wrote this powerful book. And this is what she goes over in that book. And one of my favorite verses in James is, whoever lacks wisdom, ask God, and He will give you it generously. And it doesn't say, I'll give you enough for that situation. He's like, I'll give it to you over abundantly. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what if we want something in our life, we want wisdom, if we want knowledge, we have to go to the source.
Yes.
And He will give it to us. But sometimes we're like, well, let me Google it.
Right.
Or let me ask the pastor. And
Yeah.
like Pastor Tony always says, you have the same access that I have.
Yes.
So we need to not always just go to our pastors for everything. We need to go to our source, which is the Lord. And so I love this book. This is also a 7-week study. It's with DVD, so you watch a DVD every week. And I love the group atmosphere that we have.
Yeah.
Because some insights that I don't get in my daily quiet time, other people are getting. I'm like, wow, I didn't catch that. Thank you.
Right.
And it's also a way where, like, accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have to do my homework because somebody's like,
someone's gonna be to do it. Yeah.
So that's what I love about group Bible studies is that accountability. You know.
And you know,
James.
with James, I think sometimes a lot of people don't even realize that he was Jesus' half brother.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
and people only just put him in the context of being a disciple.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
there's a lot about that interpersonal,
Absolutely.
relationship between Jesus and James, which I think will speak to anyone who has a family. You
Very
know,
relatable.
and understanding that dynamic of that. You know, so this book, and the homework. Sometimes when people say homework, like, I'm not back at school.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
But the homework is really to enhance your life. It really gives you the nuggets, the real nuggets of what is going on in your life, to apply what's being taught here into your life. So don't think of it as homework like school homework,
Yes.
and stuff, because first of all, it's not that long.
Right.
Some of the kids' homeworks, but
That's true.
it's just something to really encourage you and to apply in your life right now.
Amen.
Yeah.
And one thing I love about this is that she had Melissa, her daughter, write this book with her. And when you're Beth Moore, you're like, oh, you think that you're going to just automatically grow these godly girls, but these girls struggle too. She's got 2 daughters. But she has another facet to this book. She goes a little bit deeper. And so I really like that aspect of that mother-daughter to the Bible study. So mercy trumps James.
And don't be surprised when you're doing these Bible studies that you'll feel like, am I under attack, right now?
Absolutely.
And stuff, because the more you push in, the more you press in toward the Lord, the more it seems like those kind of obstacles are coming your way. But you got to push in. You've got to do these studies, because that's what really helps you connect, and sometimes you need help. I mean, you go to church, I know people that are going to be watching us are in different stages in spiritual walks, but, sometimes you really feel lonely, in your spirit, just like being a mother. Motherhood can be very isolating, and so can your spiritual walk. And these things I feel like are kind of a companion, kind of like a best friend. Someone's with you going through, like, hey, I've been there, I've done that. It's a struggle, but I'm with you, and you can get through this.
That is so true. I love that. Exactly what you said.
Our final study that we're going to be talking about today is actually one about finances and getting out of debt. Sochi and her husband, Stephen, just recently did this study here at the Hope. And so I wanted for you to talk a little bit about what this study is, because it's a little bit different than the other studies. And maybe since you just taught this class, maybe give 2 financial tips or takeaways that someone can apply right now to their personal finances.
Absolutely. Well, this is Financial Peace by Dave Ramsey. He is the guru of all gurus in the financial world, and not just of the Christian world, but he's out there.
Yes, mainstream.
He actually went bankrupt at a very young age, and now he's a multimillionaire just by doing everything that he teaches us. He's got 7 baby steps, and he encourages you to do them in that order. Don't just go from baby step 1 to baby step 6.
Right.
He really, there's a method to the madness. And this is also a DVD series. His excitement is contagious. He is just all over the place, and he will just encourage you. He will kind of get you mad too, because he's like, you're like, you want me to do what? When people start talking about finances, that's like you don't.
It's a struggle. You don't
cross that line.
Yeah.
But he crosses that line. He jumps it. And anybody that has been in that class with us last, just give a shout out and say, I did that class and what you learned from that class. But Financial Peace. We did that. Stephen and I did this class 7 years ago together as a couple, and you have to sometimes have a refresher, because you're like, okay, you get back into that same way of thinking,
old bad habits and stuff.
And so this was really good, because you get back into that credit card. Oh, we'll just use this credit card for
emergency or
And then you're like, oh, I didn't.
I owe $10,000 on it.
And then they are just accumulating that what is it? Credit. I can't just think of the word. But it's like you have to be diligent about your finances. So this is a really good book study. It is a little bit pricey because this is Dave Ramsey. And he's I think it is, everything is everything is worth the money, but he wants you to put something in so you get something out of it. If you get it for free, then how much are you gonna
And these are things that are for like your life. These are applications that you put in that are not just for while you're doing this study and that's it. These are kind of really life-changing, changing your dynamic of the way you spend, the way you save, thinking about the future retirement. I think it's young, especially when you're a young couple, young family, like retirement seems like, oh, that's 60 years away, but you gotta start saving like now, and stuff. So this kind of give you those steps and those keys to do that.
So good. Some things that he says is pay cash for everything, and that's what it's so easy just to put that debit card, and then you forget that you spent $5 here at McDonald's, $5 here at Walgreens, $20 at Walmart, and it's just like, where'd all my money go? Because it's so when it's a little bit harder when you pay for cash. So he does that, and so I'm going to say a little bit about what's in the kit. So you get your member book, which that's where you get all your the DVD, the questions, and you fill out the fill in the blanks. He also really encourages you to do a budget. And that's a bad word. Nobody wants to do a budget.
Nobody wants to do a budget.
But that will change your finances. When you do a budget, he says every penny needs to be budgeted for.
It's accountability, just like we were talking about before, about doing something, a Bible study, in a group setting, keeps you accountable with others. This will also help to keep you accountable. When you do a budget, you feel convicted. I really wasn't supposed to do that because that wasn't in the budget.
It wasn't in the budget, But see, he does say, okay, if you want to have blow money, you want to have $10 for that coffee, put it in there. Don't beat yourself up, but put it in the budget. So we do that. We do $10 a week for me and Steven, each of us, and that way we can have our little coffee, we can have our little thing. And if I don't spend that money, I have $40 at the end of the month to do whatever I want. But we budget it in, we save, and that's what he says, save for anything that you want. We're also saving for our oil change, because we get where we do this really fancy oil that you only do once a year. So it's a little bit more expensive, but we have to save for that. So, and everything's an emergency if you don't plan for it.
Absolutely. Everything will seem like it. That Starbucks coffee really seems
I have a headache.
I gotta get it right now.
Yes. And so also in the book, in the kit that you get the complete guide to money makeover, and each week you read chapters from this book to get ready for the class. You have this is my favorite thing out of the whole. This is the envelope system, and this is where you pay cash for everything. So you put everything, like you put food, groceries, $200? You put that in there. And if you go over, then you don't spend anything else. You could do paper products, health products, whatever you want. Blow money, kids. We have a thing for kids activities. We have one for going out to eat. Which is important. It is. Especially for couples. I know we're talking about budgeting, but these sometimes I think when people hear budget, they think well, I just can't do nothing now, And guess what? Mommy and daddy time is important, the date night, and you can put that in there, if your kids, kids, how kids are. I mean, they in 2 months their foot will grow, and now you need new sneakers, clothing budget, all of those things, kind of things that you just need to do, and those things that come up unexpectedly can be put in here. And it's so important that oh my gosh, we forgot that Christmas is in December, like he says as a joke, but it's an emergency, so we have to use our credit card. We don't want them to be deprived of anything. If you budget things, then every month do $10 or something, whatever, for your Christmas fund. So he also has some CDs in there that you can listen to. Also, he does have Stephen will be able to answer. He's on the radio. I want to say
all the time.
AM radio.
Yeah, he is. And his website, is phenomenal. It has all of these resources where you can buy them. Gives you tips on there. Because he has a blog on there as well. So you should definitely go to his website as well.
Absolutely. And I love this because this is for your budget. Simple. I know that it's not rocket science, but a pencil. When you're doing budget, you want to do a pencil. Simple things like that, an eraser. You're good. Those first couple months of your budget, you're not going to get everything right. He says it takes, I want to say, 3 to 6 months for you to get your budget right.
Yes.
So it's not like don't get hard on yourself. Don't give up. There's a lot of grace in this budgeting. He just wants you to start. Yeah. That's key for you to do in the Dave Ramsey.
And it's really encouraging to hear the testimonials from the people that have taken this course. I mean, we're talking about people that are just like us, young families, different stages in life, elderly, doesn't matter what they are, and they have saved money.
That's right.
They have been able to pay off, like thousands of dollars in debt,
And bought their own house and cash.
Yes. All of their big life goals, things they were going to do 5 or 10, 20 years down the road. Some of them are accomplishing them now, when they were not expected because of the budgeting.
That's right. And one thing that I love, and I want to say the third week in the class, just out of the blue, because me and Steve were getting ready for the class. We were going through our notes, and it's like, okay, get them to cut their credit cards. And so it didn't give them a chance to get ready.
Think about it.
Yeah. He's like, this is the class, and I'm like, Steven, like they have to cut their credit cards tonight, and he was like, oh my gosh, we didn't give him a chance, but that's why he does it. If you're serious about it, you're gonna cut those credit cards. Right. And so almost everybody cut those credit cards up. And if they didn't have it, they brought it the next week. And I can't tell you, they were like, that's off my shoulder. Even though we have to pay that money.
It's off your shoulder, but you still owe it.
Let me be clear. But they're not going to put any more money on that. Victoria's Secret. You can pay cash in that. Bath and Body Works. JCPenney. That was a popular one that almost everyone had. So you can have all those things, but just pay cash and budget for it. So that's what I love about Dave Ramsey. He's to the point. It's so understandable because with me, I'm like, I don't want to talk about finances, but it's so easy. I want to say simple. It's simple, but it's not easy.
Right.
Because this is
difficult. It's difficult for you. I mean, that's something that, as an adult especially, you feel like, okay, my first time I got a credit card, there's a kind of a rite of passage with having credit cards and owing, and you feel that. But when you start planning and you realize, I don't have the money for this, it really puts things into perspective of, and saving for the things that really matter, saving for the things that you really want to do and stuff. True. So, I want to say hi to Danielle. I just saw that she joined us. She is another mother of twins. So, wanted to say hi, Virginia. Nice. Thank you for joining and stopping by today. So, what do you think are the top 2 financial? I know budgeting is probably one of them, right? The 2 top, I would say, I know it sounds simple, pay cash for everything. That's huge. That's not technically a baby step. Right. The first baby step is... And that's a change of thinking for your mindset because everything is just, your debit card.
Debit card, it makes it so easy. Or credit cards. But the first baby step is get $1,000 for emergency fund. Awesome. So I think that would probably be the second one after because everything is an emergency.
Everything, and the AC breaks one day,
absolutely. That, and then you're having to pay it on a credit card. Yes. So when you have that emergency fund, less emergencies happen. They just, that law.
Because it's changing your whole perspective on how you're budgeting, what you're spending your money on. And when it's for emergencies, it really is for emergencies,
And there's so many times that I've passed by Dunkin' and I'm like, oh, but I don't have that $1.06. Right. We have a refill cup. But I've just had to be. And I don't need that. Because that $1.06, if you get one every day, that's $30. Yes. And you can put that to something else. Yeah. And one thing that he says throughout this is to dream big. But put your dreams out there. What do you want to have for retirement? One thing he says is that you want, as a couple, start saving for retirement before you do college. Yes. And people are like, oh no,
I got to save for my college.
No, because when they're gone, you guys are the only ones left. Yes. And then after you have, your retirement, then you save for college. It's possible.
It is. And I have my oldest. It just started college, and then so I've got the twins that are 8, and then the baby. So we start all over again. And if you spread them out, they're all instant babysitters, so that's good.
That's true. Yeah.
And so, but it's funny because when you start going, when you're still mothering and being a parent to young kids, and then you have one in college, you're like I can't even think about retirement now. But you gotta, it was a reminder, one day these kids are gonna be out of the house, and it's just gonna be you and your spouse. And how do you live? And maybe at that time you can't work anymore, or whatever the situation may be, and you need to have something to fall back on. So it is important, to kind of save and plan for retirement. Even at a young age.
Yes.
It's okay.
If you do just a little bit every month, it just accumulates.
Up. So I just, I've been a part of many Bible studies throughout the years, and so has Sochi, and I think all of her recommendations are really great because no matter where you're coming from, if you're seasoned or you're newbie, you will learn something from any of these Bible studies. And all of these Bible studies are available everywhere, at retail stores, at Amazon, Christian book distributor.
Right.
And if you go to the mommyofmultiples.com, so it's MAMI of multiples.com, you will see a link there that has Facebook Live. And if you click on that, you'll see Sochi's post, which she has included all of these Bible studies plus 2 bonus ones as well.
Absolutely.
She has included 2 bonus ones so you can get more in depth into it, find out where you can buy them at. And also underneath her post is her contact information as well.
Awesome.
So if you want to, connect with Sochi or have a question, you think about it after the replay and you're like, wait, I wanted to ask that, I'm talking about this, you can connect with Sochi. She also has her own blog, moosettermommy.wordpress.com, so you can connect with her there as well. And I think if you're watching this video and if you want to say anything to us, please do so. Whether in the comments below, if you want to use the hashtag Mom Bible Studies, we'll be absolutely sure on the replay to make sure that you are connected with us and we'll answer any questions that you have. I want to thank you so much for being here. This has been a wonderful time. I hope you guys, thank you for all the likes and the hearts. We really appreciate it. We thank you so much for watching. And please, if you like these live videos, I know we love doing them, because we can talk, we love doing them. Please continue to check us out at mommyofmultiples.com or on our Facebook. We're also on Twitter, Jocelyn RC. And let us know what you like about it, and we will absolutely help you and be able to connect with you even further. That's awesome. Thank you so much for watching us live here at Hope International Church, gohopechurch.com in Groveland, Florida, Central Florida. And we hope that, we look forward to seeing you. We hope you connect with us soon. And we look forward to seeing you at Mommy of Multiples. Thanks so much, guys. God bless you.
I want to say one more thing. Jocelyn is just a mega star to me. I know that when we met last August,
I hate her to say that.
last August at MOPS, we had an instant connection, and I invited her to church, and she loved it, and I'm just so blessed to have her as a friend and someone that encourages mommies, because we are in this season of life, and like you said, we feel sometimes we feel alone, and by you having all these different writers, you can connect to so many different moms, and that's because the Holy Spirit's leading you, and what you're doing is so important.
Thank you so
and
much.
I just appreciate you giving me this opportunity to share what I love, because this has just been like, I can't wait to do these again. Okay, let me do this. Who's got this Bible study? But Stephen and I love your family, and we appreciate you so much.
I really appreciate that. And that was the main reason I started Mommy of Multiples, was because when you're transitioning and becoming a mother, I had worked all my life, and then I found myself with these little twin newborns, and I realized there's got to be other people going through this, not just me, and that's what really started it, was the need to connect with others. And motherhood can really be an isolating place, and I always say this, and it can be lonely, because when you're in the midst of it, of changing dirty diapers, and all you talk to is a baby who's babbling at you, you feel like it's amazing how you can feel like there's no one else going through this except me,
That's
so definitely, we would love for you to connect with us, connect with Sochi and I, because we want to be able to encourage our readers in any way that we can.
Right. Well, thank you, Jocelyn.
Thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and we'll hope to see you again soon. Bye. God bless.
Thank you.